All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Candy Martin, and I am the owner and the tax professional with Martin Business Solution, LLC. I'm also a financial educator, and I'm excited to have you here with me on tonight. And so we're going to get right into the lesson at hand. Won't hold you long. Since we are recording, we will take the questions and answers at the end. So I ask that if you have a question along the way, you can put it in the chat or you can jot it down, and I will unmute the line once we get to the Q&A session. And just a little bit about me. With the blessings of the Lord, January will be 27 years in the tax industry for me. And during that time, I have learned a lot of financial concepts, financial tools. And every time I learn something, I just want to share it, because I believe it's a blessing for me to have the knowledge. And so what better way to be blessing for me is to bless somebody else. So what I've decided to do about 5 years ago, I added a service to our tax firm, and it's called the How Money Works books, the 7 Money Milestone Company, the stuff you see behind me here, and I'll kind of get into all of that. And what it has allowed me to do is to be in a better position to help my tax clients, not just where they come see me once a year. I process the returns and then they're gone, and I don't see them for another 12 months. This has allowed me the opportunity not just to help them during tax time, but to be able to serve them as clients all year round. Life happens throughout the year, month by month, week by week, day by day. Things are changing. And so what we're going to get into today is called From Tax Practice to Total Solution. So maybe you're here because you are a tax professional or considering getting into the industry, or it could be that you serve your clients, family, and friends in some sort of capacity where you talk about taxes. And so anytime there's anything that can help make that situation better, you're all for the knowledge, and maybe that's why you're here. So either case, I'm glad to have you here with me. And so we're going to talk about how financial education can transform your business. Take your tax practices just from somebody seeing you once a year to you being on speed dial every time they get ready to make a financial decision, they think of you. Currently, the U.S. is preparing for the greatest wealth transfer, and it will be larger than any of the entire world's economy that it was the entire 2024. So more than the world make in an entire year, the transfer is taking place. So it's projected that 124 trillion with a T, not thousand, trillion with a T, will be the largest wealth transfer in history. And as history has already shown us before, every time they predict the number, it's usually double. So we're talking about 240 trillion potentially being in the transfer portal. And so you want to, as tax professional, we're going to see that. And, it anticipate that it will take place starting now all the way through 2048. So we're talking like the next 48, 50 years, money will be circulating and moving. And who they're going to come to? Yours truly, the tax professional. So the US is about to move more money between generations than the entire global economy produces in 1 year. So you want to make sure that you're in a position to help your client with transferring that income. So all that money will have to pass through a 1040 in some form or another, because it's inherited accounts, grandparents leaving money to their grandkids. It could be spouses transitioning and leaving the money for the wife or the husband. It could be family members inheriting property and wanting to sell, and then having all of that to come through a 1040. Real estate sales. What do most people do when they get a large sum of money? They go and buy property. Or like, hey, I want to relocate. So now they have to sell the house. Gift transfer. Look, let me tell you, grandparents are notorious for leaving gifts. And financial gifts are typically the best kind to give. So all of this transfer, retirement rollovers, people are like, you know what? I've put in my 40 years, give me my watch, let me retire. All of that is going to be taking place. And it will all flow through a tax return. And so who's going to be processing the tax return? Yours truly, the tax professionals, the CPAs, the bookkeepers, everyone that has to touch this 1040. Your clients are going to come to you with the 1099-S, sale of a property. They're going to come to you with the 1099-R, the retirement rollover. They're going to come to you with the 1040s and the Schedule Cs because they started a business or they're selling a business. Whatever the case may be, they inherited life insurance. All of those things will be documented inside of the 1040. So guess what? You have the solution to what your clients are going to be doing as they move those funds through. Meaning that they're going to come to you and say, hey, I just inherited this money. What should I do with it? I just sold a house. What should I do with the proceeds? And everything that we just talked about on the prior slide is going to go through that 1040. So you have the opportunity to be the person that they sit down with to come up with a financial plan. But hey, you're a tax professional, you're a CPA, you're a bookkeeper. You're not trying to do financial planning, or are you? Stick around, you can change your mind. So on the 1040, the forms that you see are your 1099-Rs, your earned income credit, which means you know they have children or they have a special needs child or a special needs adult that they take care of. You'll see the Schedule E. Do they have rental property? So they're going to talk about the things that they need if they have these. Every time you look at the line 15, that's going to tell you, hey, there's something that my client needs. When you look at the Schedule C, there are some things that they need. So what are some of the things people need when they see these forms? When you see these forms, when you're filing their taxes? To have a 1099-R for retirement, is the money in the best place? Are they drawing down their retirement and not understanding that the longer they leave it, the more it would grow interest and compound interest, and that they have time value of money? Do they know that? EIC stands for Earned Income Credit, meaning that they have some little ones somewhere that they're taking care of. Do they have an estate plan in place? What happened to them? What happened to the children if something happened to them? These are the things that the 1040 is telling us. The Schedule E, do they have a trust for their rental property? Do they have insurance? Are they properly insured? The Schedule C, they have a business. Do they have key man insurance? Do they have a buy-sell agreement? Do they have their errors and omission insurance? Like all these things, just from looking at a Schedule C, all these things when you see the Schedule E, line 15, all of these are clues and things that tell you, hey, the client needs more than just me filling out this tax return once a year. The tax return is not just, if you want to set yourself apart, I mean, just think about it. On every corner, just about, there's a tax office. There's the big companies and then there's the mom and pop. Everywhere you turn, people are going into your local retail store, buying a software, showing up just at tax season to make a quick buck, to get people in, get people out, but have no indication of helping them to really financially navigate their finances for the long term. So what happens? Clients go from tax preparer to tax preparer, looking for some hope and looking for answers. And you have what you need to not just be an in and out service. You can actually be the roadmap from where they are to where they want to be financially. You could truly help your client get there if you view the tax return as a roadmap. So let's talk about tax professionals, CPAs, tax attorneys, bookkeepers. Let's talk about the future of it. Because of the wealth transfer, people are going to have more things to file on their tax return. I get somebody all the time says, you know what, I've been doing my own taxes, but now that things have changed, I have to get a business, or I sold a home, or I inherited some money. I don't want a chance filing this tax return incorrectly. So people are going to be coming to you because you're the expert, you're the tax professional. And if you're not a tax professional, you're considering this as an avenue, as a career change or something in addition to what you're already doing, just know that the CPA, the tax professional, is one of the most respected professions out there. People are very concerned about their money. Kid you not, it's right up there with oxygen. People are truly concerned about their taxes. So we want to make sure that we don't just will them in and will them out. Clients need guidance. They're searching for directions. They come in, they're looking for advice. And what do most of us do? We share what we know because we care about our tax clients. So we're going to tell them anyway. Tax professionals and CPAs were advisors, whether it's directly or indirectly. We plan, we teach, we coach. And financial literacy is very much part of what we do as tax professionals. And we should, as tax professionals, look at a tax refund not as a strategy. It's just a part of the strategy. And we have to get our clients to see that. So why, it's going to all make sense in the next couple of slides. I just really want to tell it to you so fast, just want to share the information. I'm so excited about it because I know as tax professionals, people count on us. They trust us. Trust me, if they're letting you, look after their money, they trust you. And we have a solution for them. Financial illiteracy is holding people back. 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Half of the clients that we see, half of Americans, half of the clients that we see cannot pass a basic financial literacy test. And I'll share a little bit more about the test with you in a little bit. And most do not know how to manage money, how to manage inherited wealth. We keep talking about this $124 trillion that's going to be passed down over the next 48, 50 years. But will people get it and let it grow, or will they get it and lose it and put it back into other places outside of their family legacy? Remember, the tax refund should not be the strategy. Okay, come in, get a big tax refund and go be great. We all know in 30 days, they no longer have that tax refund. So as financial fiduciaries, we are, in a sense, obligated and responsible for educating our clients and letting them know, hey, there's a better way. There's a much better strategy. So let's talk about who we are as tax professionals, CPAs, and bookkeepers. We're the bridge, preparing taxes, at tax time, when January roll around, January, February, March, it's kind of when we have the bulk of our clients. They come in and we're tax prepared, which means we're prepping their taxes from last year. We're looking back. Anything that we're doing is not impacting the future when we're just preparing the taxes. So tax preparation is what we do when we want to look back. But guess what? Combine that with financial education, we get an opportunity to look forward. And what does that mean? If we can take the tax return and combine it with financial education, it will allow us to help our client to put together a better future financially. So this is what I mean. The client comes to you, let's say in February. I know we got a lot of late filers, but let's say they finally come to us on time, okay? And they come in February to get their taxes done. When they come to us, this is year 2025. So when they come to us in January, we're going to be looking at everything that they did from January 1 of 25 to December 31st of 25. And we're going to take all of what they did, whether they started a business, sold a house, worked a job, whatever. We're going to take all of that income and all the expenses, and we're just going to prepare it, put it on a 1040 and submit it. Okay. But while we're filling it out, we should take clues. Okay, they had a 1099-R, so they have a retirement. They have a 1099-S, which means they sold some property. They inherited some money. They got a raise on their job, especially if you have repeat clients and you see that their finances are growing. Well, have they put anything in place? Okay. So looking at the tax return gives us the option to look back. But now we can say, hey, how about if we do some tax planning so that next year you don't owe as much in taxes? Or, hey, if it's a way that I can show you how to grow your money so you're not relying on a tax refund. If I can show you how you can double your money in the next 10 years or 12 years, would you be interested? That's looking forward because you are financially educating your client. You're treating them not just as a in and out tax prep, one and done. You are actually helping them to save. Remember, we just said 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That's no way to live. That's not freedom. So guess what? We get a chance to financially impact our clients and offering them a bridge to financial freedom. So, as tax professionals, as I mentioned, you're already there. You're 80% there. They come in, you've already gathered their financial data. You know how many children they have. Are they married? Are they divorced? Are they widowed? Did they get a promotion? Did they change careers? Did they sell a house? I mean, you know pretty much all of their business. And you get to explain these complex topics daily. I mean, this is just, you love this. I mean, you can just talk about taxes. You're asking questions. They're asking you questions. If you don't know the answer, you're going to find out because you are in the tax preparation industry. And obviously, at some point, you love something about it. So why not take all of that data that we collect and put it to use, not just for the client, but for you as well? Who wants to just do taxes at the beginning of the year? You're working 16, 20 hours, trying to get all this stuff processed and hoping that you earn enough income to last you the rest of the year. All right. You have client relationship, leverage that. Your clients are giving you their bank statement. They're telling you all about their financial business. You get to see their spending habits. Do your client need a budget? And if they do, are you there willing to help them? Or you just saying, you know what, as long as they get their taxes prepared, I get paid, I'm not concerned. No, you're not in this profession just for the money. Even though the money is good, you're not here just for the money. So you really do have client relationships. They come in, and in my case, like I said, I've been blessed to be in it 26 years, 27 in January, prayerfully. So I've seen some of the kids that were on the tax return 5 years old. Now they're getting married. I'm like, what? Getting married? And so you get to learn the family dynamics. Every time they have something, they'll call you, hey, little Johnny's going to college. What do I need to do? What tax forms do I need? Hey, there are so many clues that they're leaving along the way in other areas that you can assist your client and get compensated for it. So this is one of the things that I want you to consider. You have the tax taxes, whether you're doing tax preparation, bookkeeping, you're a CPA, you are already gathering all of your clients' information. You have 80% of what you need to finish it. So let me talk to you about the other 20%. So let's meet the Wealth Wave, the Money Book Company. Let me tell you, financial education is where it is. It's the movement. And so we have a series of books, and we have a financial literacy quiz, what we talked about earlier about how most Americans cannot pass a basic financial literacy quiz. What if you were the one that would be able to financially educate your client so that they can make better educated decisions when it comes to their money? We have a ebook, Change Your Literacy, Change Your Life. Everybody can get that book. Just read it. It's free. We have How Money Works. We have How Money Works for Women. Remember I said the year 2030, women are going to be in control of 2/3 of all that 124 trillion that we spoke about earlier, which could potentially be about 240 trillion easily if it doubled, which it normally has. It has in the past. And we also have How Money Works for the Next Generation. As you're preparing the taxes, you see the children, like I said, the children grow up, they go off to college, they get their first job, they get married, and they are the next generation. Think about it. If you can positively impact the next generation, teaching them what you did not have, perhaps you didn't get to learn this in high school. They didn't teach us about money in high school. We didn't talk about it around a kitchen table. But guess what? Now you have the power to change that. Be the change you want to see. And especially if you have young folks in your family always asking you for money, you might want to get them a copy of this book. So as I mentioned, teaming up my tax firm, as I, when I started off earlier, I said, after 20 something years in the tax industry, I wanted to do more for my clients. And one of the things that I needed was tools and resources and things that wasn't going to cost me more time. I was already putting enough time into the tax firm. The last thing I wanted was another job or more things to do. And so by teaming up with WealthWave, the How Money Works company, I was able to get tools and resources to better help my clients. And so now I'm able to give them the financial literacy quiz to see where they are and to see where they need to be. And then I now have the bridge that I showed you earlier to help get them there. And so how do we help our clients? Like I said, they come in, we're doing their tax preparation, we have a copy of the 1040, we're going through it, and as we're completing it, we can either, depending on how you want to set this up, you can do it during tax preparation, which I prefer setting a separate appointment, so that you can have their full focus. But we can kind of talk about different ways to do it. There's no right or wrong way. There just may be a better and best way to do it. So once you've taken care of the tax preparation, now you can get into the financial education part. And we have 7 money milestones that we like to walk each client through. The first one is financial education, getting them a book, letting them take the quiz, answering some of their questions, taking that tax return and pulling it apart, seeing what items they had, and then knowing how to better help your client. It tells you everything you need to know. All right. So after the financial education, we talk about proper protection, making sure that our clients are properly protected. Do they have life insurance? And if they do, is the best for them and their family? Or is it something else that they need to do to put in place to be properly protected? Emergency fund. If your client is hard pressed, stressed for the tax refund, perhaps they need an emergency fund that will carry them throughout the year in case of little things like we talked about. 78% of Americans are from paycheck to paycheck. Most of them cannot cover a $400 emergency. And so let's talk about it. Hey, you're getting a $9,000 refund. Let's take a portion of that and let's set up an emergency fund for you. Debt management. Well, if they get a 1099-C for cancellation, meaning that they possibly could have some debt. How can we be a better service to our client throughout the year to help them come up with a debt management plan so that they can be free of the debt? Or if it is good debt, like having a home, is there a better interest rate for them? Those sort of things. You will see all of that in the tax return. Cash flow. Hey, let's be real. Who could use some more money? All of us, okay? So talking about cash flow, we see that what if the client had 8 W-2s in 1 year? Like, hey, what's going on? Why are you changing all these jobs? And what your client may say, I'm just looking for a better opportunity, or I think I should own my own business. Then you'll be able to offer them a business opportunity. You'll be able to do all that through the 7 money milestone. Then you'll also be able to help them build wealth. Like I mentioned, if you saw that they had a 1099-S, did they put the money into a regular savings account at the local bank earning 0.04% interest? Or did they put it somewhere that is safeguarded where they have growth and no loss? No, got to sit down and talk to them. You saw the tax form. Let's talk to the client. Protecting their wealth. This is where we can come up with all the grand events, all the things that we can plan for the client, looking at the 1040, building a plan. We're all excited. We're helping them with their debt. We're putting emergency fund in place. We're doing all these great things. Then they don't have an estate plan, no will, no trust, no instruction, no HIPAA, no healthcare directive. All those things were remiss. So guess what? We have an opportunity to help our clients with that as well. So kind of, some of the things that we'll get into, what does it look like sitting down with your client once we prepare the taxes? We see here on this pie, taxes is a large part of it. So now we have some tools and resources where we can help them strategize to grow their savings, to reduce their taxes, and to reduce the living expenses. And how about getting rid of debt? All of that will free up their funds to help them be able to save money, to have things to leave for their family. Let's help them free up the money. 78% of Americans, I've probably said this 100 times already, but they're living paycheck to paycheck. We can help our clients with that. So one of the concepts when we're doing the financial education, like I mentioned on the 7 money milestones, the very first thing we start with is financial education. And when we see those tax forms come through, we know that some clients have money in accounts because they'll get the interest statement, you know, the $18 for the whole year at bank XYZ. And you're like, the bank gave you $8.19. Well, why did they get that? Now they have to even pay taxes on the $8.19 that the bank gave them in the interest statement that you have to file on their tax return. Oh, come on. Find out how much money they have in that account. And they only got $8.19 for the whole year, and they got to pay taxes on that. Come on, let's help our clients. Let's teach them the rule of 72. What is the rule of 72? I'm glad you asked. The rule of 72 is a mental math shortcut that allows us as tax professionals to educate our clients so that they can find out if their money is going to benefit from being wherever it is, whatever type of account it is, or if there's some better option for them. So the way we would do it, I would have my clients to go, you know, whatever the tax statement says, the 1099 interest were from bank XYZ, I would have them to go log into their account and to look at the interest that they're being paid. And it'll say something like 0.04% or 0.9%, and possibly, maybe on a really good day, it may say 1%. So once you find out what the interest rate is, you will take the number 72 and you're going to divide it by the interest rate. So for the sake of our example, we'll use 1%. So they have their money, let's say they have $100 in bank XYZ, and the bank is giving them 1% interest, okay? So we're going to take the number 72, we're going to divide it by 1%, and that is going to give us our answer, which we know is 72. So it's going to take 72 years for that $100 to become $200. Now, is that a deal for our client? Now, remember, they have this money sitting in an account, the bank is using it, and at the end of the year, they issue them a tax statement for that $8.19, and they have to pay taxes on top of that. That don't sound like a really good deal. So as financial fiduciaries, as tax professionals, we're in a position not only to educate our client, but we're also able to offer them a solution. All right. So once again, we'll take the number 72 divided by the interest rate. And remember I said, have the client to pull it up. And that is what is going to tell them how long it's going to take for their money to double. So what is the significance of knowing the rule of 72? It shows your client that there are potentially better options for their money that can grow, where they can use it so they're not, stressing and looking just for the tax refund to make it the rest of the year. Let's come up with a better plan. So just like I mentioned in our example, if you took 1%, it would take, if the bank is only issuing 1%, which a lot of banks aren't even doing 1%. But let's say it was 1%, okay? It's going to take 72 years for that money to double. 3%, 24 years for that money to double. 6%, 12 years. 9%, 8. And at 12%, it's going to take their money 6 years to double, which is way much better than 72 years. So how many times will your client money double by the time that they're ready to retire? So you got to remember, you just got a client they're in their 20s, that just got married, just bought a house, and they put their money in a savings account because they want to do the right thing. Now you can ask them, hey, what was that $8.19 for that you got this interest statement? Oh, we have $10,000 sitting in bank XYZ and we're going to retire off of that. Will they? They will if we can take the moment to educate our client to give them a better solution. All right, and this is just another chart to kind of show the double, just to kind of drive the point home. I won't spend a whole lot of time here because I know we have a few more slides that we got to go through. But just in comparison, 6% interest and 12% interest, it makes a lot of difference. And in this example, it made $1 million difference. Same amount of time, just a different amount in interest that the client is getting paid on their investment. So I want you to see this slide when you close your eyes tonight. I want you to know that when your client comes through with that interest statement, I want you to wonder, well, what are they getting? Are they going to get $32,000 or are they going to get $1 million? So inside of the books that I talked about, the ebook, the Change Your Literacy, Change Your Life, we have one for women, we have one for everyone, and we have one that is targeted toward the next generation, which is typically around 18 to 35 years of age. But guess what? Everybody can read all of them. And if you would like a copy of any one of these books, please feel free to reach out to me. I will gladly put one of these books in your hand. All right, so how does this all gel together? We talked about the challenges that our clients face. We talked about some potential solutions that you can offer your client. So let's tie that all into the tax firm. The clients are going to come to you from January to March, some in April, and then of course you're going to have your stragglers that are going to wait to September, October, slide right into the extension deadline. But let's talk about keeping your client. You don't want your client having to get new clients every year. They're searching for things, so they're going to somebody different who can get them more money, and they're just searching for a solution. They're seeking help. You can also expand the value of your tax firm. Set yourself apart. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a tax firm in almost every corner. There's one when you go into the retail store to shop. There's one right there in the front. You can't even go in to make groceries without someone soliciting you to get your taxes filed. Let's move beyond that. Let's elevate and set ourselves apart. Let's be the go-to person, not just for taxes, but for when little Johnny goes to college, for when little Susie gets married, for when someone transitioned and now they've inherited all these funds. Why not the client come to you? They're going to come to you in January and show you what they did with the money. You want to find out that your client went somewhere else and somebody else helped them when you could have helped them yourself? Come on. And you can earn year-round income, not just at tax time. This will put you in a position to be able to have a tax firm with a bigger value when you have your client. And of course, your clients will give you referrals. So you'll have constant new clients that will turn into a long-term client. No more hustle and bustle at the beginning of every year trying to find tax clients. You can't even enjoy your Christmas dinner because you're all on social media trying to find clients. What if your same client would frequently visit you throughout the year for different phases of their life concerning their finances throughout the year? Let's expand your practice. Let's stay independent. Stay independent. I can't say that enough. Having the flexibility of your time to be able to step away from the office, to be able to go to your child's school, to be able to take a vacation and not wonder if you got to ask a boss if you can go. Guess what? You build this practice right, you can stay independent and be in control of your time. And the best part, you get to make a bigger impact. Your clients aren't making uneducated decisions and losing millions in dollars. Help your clients avoid the $1 million mistake. Do it. So I'm going to do one or two of these case studies. I'm not going to go through them all, but let's just do this one right here real quick. I'll probably just do this one. You have, in a typical tax office, they have about 250 tax returns they file in a year. And throughout that process from, let's say January to April, they filed the taxes. And then right upon the conclusion of tax season, you reach out to about 100 of those clients and you give them a book or you invite them to a webinar or however you get them educated. And when they leave the seminar or when they get through reading the book, You're able to sit down and talk with 25 of them. Now, remember, you got 250 tax returns you have to file. But out of that 250, if you only help about 25 of them, you will double the income that you earn with the 250 tax returns. How long did it take you to do 250 tax returns? You do the math. You can make the same amount of money or more just by helping 25 families with financial education. You think about that. It took you 4 months, 5, maybe 6, to complete 250 tax returns. That's 12 hours a day. In the middle of the tax season, 12, 16 hours, you are working those tax returns. You are falling asleep with the laptop in your lap. And I'm telling you what I know, because that's what I did. But 25 families, let's say it took you 6 weeks to help 25 families. Let's just use that for an example. You made twice as much money, not the same amount. I said twice as much money helping 25 versus those 250 that you did in that 4 to 6 month time frame. I don't know about you, but I know we're all numbers people because we are in the tax industry. We love numbers. But that math ain't mathing. You mean to tell me 25 people are equaling and totaling and doubling what I did with 250? You already know. Oh, wait, I got to talk about this one, and then I'll keep it moving along. Case study. Client receives $3,000. On average, the average tax refund is about $3,500. They got this in a refund, and you're gonna ask them, hey, what you gonna do with this money? And y'all all know we can tell some stories on what clients have told us and what we know what they have done with the money. I'm not even gonna bring some of it up. But it's nothing that added value to their family in most cases. But guess what? If you can introduce to them financial education, say, hey, I know you got your $3,000 coming, because guess what? They're not gonna get it right then. You got 2 weeks for them to get the $3,000. Look, hey, before the money come, I want to sit down with you. I want to have a conversation with you. Can I share a book with you? Can I invite you to a webinar? Can we do a one-on-one as we prepare for your refund to come? And then help your clients build a financial plan where they can put that money to work for them, where they'll have it throughout the year. Think about that. A single mom. I want you to envision a single mom coming to you to get $9,000. She could take some of that money versus something she was gonna waste it on, put it in an emergency fund, and then fast forward, school starts in August, and she doesn't have to go borrow uniform money for little Johnny because you helped her set up a savings account, an emergency fund, where she can now go and pull the money to put little Johnny through school. Think about it. Sounds simple because it is. No, I'll skip that one. So how do you put the two together, your tax firm and financial education? I know you all are busy. You're ready. You're just looking forward to spending 16, 18 hours a day preparing taxes. I know you're just looking forward to it. But what if you can take about 1 to 20 hours a week and expand your tax firm, share some books and videos, refer some clients. We have a team of people here willing to help your clients while you prepare taxes. You have a team that's going to help you that will step in and help you guide your clients throughout the process. You don't have to go and find new clients because you already have some. Let's start with your existing network. Let's reach out to your clients. Hey, tax season is getting ready to start. How about, do you have about 20 to 30 minutes for me to sit down with you? I would like to come up with a tax strategy with you before the year ends. Trust me, call all those people that owed all that money. Call them first. Trust me, they are ready to listen to any suggestions you may have. And you only have to do it a few hours a week versus doing 16, 18 hours in a day. You can do this 1 to 20 hours a week. Part-time. Let's say you're only open during the beginning of the year. What are you gonna do the rest of the year? Guess what? You can take 20 to 40 hours a week and you can build a sustainable business that will allow you to serve your clients with education. That is so rewarding. It's such a rewarding feeling to be able to educate someone so that they can make better decisions, which in turn will help them improve their quality of life. You get to keep your tax business. This doesn't interfere. Matter of fact, this is perfect for your tax business. You get to choose your hours, you get to choose your own pace, and you even get to choose the place. You want to work from home, you want to work from the office, you want to work on the beach, whatever. All you need is internet and your laptop. And you can even just use your phone. You don't even need a laptop. You can have access to leadership, and you can even become a leader yourself. Talk about building a team. Well, talk about building your tax firm. What about the tax preparers that you already have in your office? Let's start there. And you get to earn more money throughout the year. So tax time isn't everything riding on it. It's not such a pressurous time where everything is going to either sink or swim on taxes, on tax preparation. And guess what? If you just say, you know what, I just want to be able to help my client from January to January. I want to prepare their taxes. I want to do their financial planning. I want to help them have strategies, and I want to focus fully on my business. And you want to build a team or not build a team. The choice is yours, but build a team trust me, we'll talk later. It's a great way to go. But you can unlock your full earning potential. Remember, we talked about the roadmap that the tax return is. That is going to help you unlock more income. You get to qualify for incentive and build a long-term legacy. Not just, oh, that's just another tax professional. Just walk in, walk out. You become the person that they have on speed dial every time there's a financial change. What does the income look like? This is an example. It could be more or less. So let's say we sat down, remember those 25 people that we're going to help? If we help one of those 25 people once a week, that's going to take you, yeah, that's almost, yeah, come on, think about it. I just get excited when I think about this thing. Think about it. You help one of those families one a week, and you can earn $8,400 just like that. But what if you help? I mean, and when you do the taxes, you help more than 4 people in a day. If you're helping 10 people in a day, come on. Now, I don't want to put that much pressure on you. I'm just saying, let's do the math. But you can help 4 families in a month, and you earn $8,400. Well, if you help 4 families in a week, you follow me? So let's say you have tax preparers in your office already that work with you, or if you're looking to expand your tax firm and you want to bring people on, but you don't have to train them every year. You got to get new tax people because now they don't got a job because the tax office is now closed. Now look at it to where you can train them to where now they can do the same thing. They don't have to go and get another job. And you have to find them at tax season because guess what? You guys are open year round. You're preparing the taxes, you're helping the client financially plan, you're helping them protect their finances throughout the year, and you're educating and you're changing lives. So, as I mentioned when I first started, this is the world's biggest industry, and this is the biggest moment. We talked about the 124 trillion that is on the move, and you're the most trusted professional in their life. No matter what they're about to do, they're going to need money to do it. They're about to buy a house, the realtor becomes second. They're getting ready to have a family, they're getting ready to have a baby. They need money to deliver the baby. I mean, like, you need money for everything. You get married, unfortunately, some people get a divorce. Like, whatever they're going to be doing, buy a new car, saving for college, going to college, no matter what a person is doing in their family, they are going to be in need of finances. They're going to sell a house. They want to, whatever it is that they want to do, you're going to be the person there that they're going to come to, not just to get their taxes filed. They're going to come to you for financial advice. Should I or should I not do this? Should I or should I not put my money here? Should I pull it out? Should I roll it over? Should I retire? Can I retire? You're going to be the most trusted person in their life, professional person in their life. So from here, it's up to you to think about expanding your tax firm from just being the tax preparer that they come and see once a year It's going to be up to you if you're going to know the knowledge and know that there are some things that you can help your client with. Because I've exposed it to you now. So you already know about the Rule of 72. You know about taking the tax return and reading it like a roadmap. So you already have the solution for your client. So it's going to be up to you if you want to take action on that and step in and be the trusted person that they come to for financial decisions. Do more for your client, do more for your business. Why not this? Why not now? And why not you? So at this time, I am going to open it up for questions or concerns. Let me unmute you guys or give you the ability to unmute yourself. All right, so if you have a question, feel free to unmute. And let's see, there we go. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
Hey Candy, how are you doing?
I am well. Thank you, Justin, for tuning in.
Yeah, I want to first say thank you so much for providing this information. I'm not a tax professional, but I do know different tax professionals and just people in general. So this gave me a different perspective on one as I'm talking to people out in the communities and I run across those tax professionals to just have a different kind of conversation with them. I guess a question I have, being that you've been a tax professional, for a really long time, and a lot of people have been in this kind of industry for a while, typically, at least the ones I run into. What would be your recommendation on having like kind of starting that conversation? If you already have a warm feeling, you know them well, and you think they would be really good to in this business of financial education, and just kind of how would you frame that conversation? Any thoughts around that?
Yes, I would ask them, hey, right now, if you see them over the holidays, you can say, hey, you're getting ready for tax season, and most likely they're going to say yes, because, we have all our CEs and stuff we have to do. We're getting prepared for it. And, that'll kind of start the conversation. And you can ask them, hey, so what do you do with your clients when tax season is over?
Mhm.
Now they're thinking like nothing. I prepare their taxes and we're done until next January. And then
I
you
got
can, then because you're not a tax preparer, I can suggest that you tell them, hey, I got a friend of mine that owns a tax firm.
you.
And I would like to connect you to so that, I have an idea for you, something that you may want to consider for your tax firm that will set you apart, that will not add more hours to your day, and knowing the relationship that you have with that person, what concerns them. Do they want time freedom? Are they making enough money in a tax firm? Find that pain point and find a way to tie it into them just hopping on a call with me. And then I'll be able to help them. I'll be able to guide them. At least let's get them a book. Let's ask them some questions. Let's let them take the financial literacy quiz. Just kind of take it from there.
Gotcha. No, that makes a lot of sense. Just thinking about it, it is that mad rush that I always see. Usually, I can't get in contact with them. Barely get a text back when it's that tax season, and then when tax season over, a lot of times they are finding something else to do to kind of bridge the gap into the next season. So, thank you for that recommendation of kind of that approach of talking to them.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And then remind them too, their clients, just like they're trying to find something else to do, their clients are finding other people to help them. So that means they may not come back to them for tax preparation because they've gotten somebody else to help them. What if they're able to help their clients in every area? That way they kind of keep them close.
Gotcha. All great points. Thank you so much, Kane.
You're welcome.
Hey Candy, it's Chiffon.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey, just like Justin, not a tax preparer. However, I wanted to join this to get some insights as to how to leverage someone on my team that is attacking my clients over to like Beverly, who does do taxes. So I really appreciate you opening this up for everyone for sure. It was very great. I mean, I learned a lot. Even the thought of going into that industry after I try to master where I'm at right now. So it's definitely food for thought, and I appreciate you for having this. And I'm definitely going to make sure I get this out to all my tax preparer people that I do know, because there's nothing wrong with another stream of income, right?
Yeah, who doesn't want more income? And think about this,
Absolutely.
Chef, think about this on that tax form, when you go in to get your taxes done, they ask you for your name, your address, your phone number, your height and weight. No, I'm just teasing. They ask you for they ask you for all this stuff. It's a couple more lines could say, do you have a will? Do you have a retirement account? I mean, they're already filling it out. Just add a couple more lines to it.
That's just like you said, you're already 80% in, and you are one of the most trusted professionals to people. They trust you with their money in the IRS by far. So absolutely, you're 80% there. You might as well be full circle. So I totally agree to that. Agree to that for sure.
Thank you for tuning in too as well. All right.
And Candy, one of the things that I've been able to do with a lot of the single ladies who are getting the larger tax returns
Mm-hmm.
and having them put things in place as far as life insurance. I have one lady we're waiting. The second year I didn't get to catch her because I had some family things taking place last year at this time, tax time. So anyway, for her to go ahead and get that life insurance policies on her 4 kids because she's getting the large returns. And so she has others that she's introducing me to this year. So I'm going to try to work with them to do a one-time payment at tax time when they get an $8,000 and $9,000 returns, and getting it out of the way, no new debt, no new bill, and just knowing that they're doing the things to protect their children and their families with that money. And many times that's the reason they are getting such large returns, and they can have a second bonus or benefit from the taxes.
That's so awesome, Miss Beverly. Just thinking about that, they could easily take half of it and do whatever else that they were already planning to do. The other half, they just waste, it just
No waste. Mhm.
not on purpose. It's just, $5 here, $10 there, $25 here, 100. It just goes. And when they have a instructed financial plan that says, hey, when you get this money, because remember, when you file the taxes, like Ms. Beverly said, when they file it, they got to take 2 more weeks before they actually get it. Let's come up with a plan or what we're going to do with that money. They're listening to you. They're taking your advice. So that is so awesome, Ms. Beverly. And congrats to you for impacting the lives, especially for the single mom. That's got to be rewarding, that you're helping them. That's just something money can't buy, that that you're impacting a family like that. Hats off to you, Ms. Beverly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. I enjoyed that.
Oh, no problem.
Yes,
And I'll be
ma'am.
sure to share it with everyone that registered. You will be able to access the recording. I'll get it out to you as soon as possible. I just want to go back to this roadmap. I kind of want to, any other questions before I close this out? I don't want to leave anybody out. You have time if anybody has a question. All right, I just wanted to kind of leave you guys with this picture in your head. I mean, I really want you to see this when you rest tonight. This is the roadmap for whatever. If it's a roadmap to help your client, like Miss Beverly just mentioned, the clients that come in once a year and they get in the 7 to 8 to 9,000, and the next year they didn't really have anything to show for it. Let's give them a roadmap to doing something positive. And that doesn't mean everybody that get a large refund wastes it. I think most of the time people are just like, hey, they have great intention, but without a plan or without someone to guide them through. And so this tax refund, this tax 1040 form should be a roadmap for you to help your client. And then it can also be a roadmap for you as the professional. How can I take my firm from here to there, from average to extraordinary, to once a year to year round, from once in a while to on speed dial? How can I get myself there? Use the 1040 to help not just your client, but to also build something great for you. So I will stick around for a minute. I'm going to stop the recording. And like I said, once again, my name is Candy Martin. I am with Martin Business Solution right here in the US. I'm in Louisiana, to be more specific about where I am. But Easy to reach. Just reach out to me, ask all your questions. Let's set up a consultation with you and your client. Let's set up a call with you and your team. Let's do this. Let's be the financial education that transforms the communities in which we serve. And once again, thank you all for your time. And thank you so much for just share it. I'm thanking you in advance for sharing. You guys have a great rest of your day.